like, bro, yeah, she got a kid. Look at his back. Oh my god. What's up? Welcome back to another reaction. This is Adam. Damn.
Welcome back to another reaction. This is Adin Ross introduces Adam22 and Lena, the plug to Andrew Tate.
Yeah. Adam22, Lena the plug. Married, but they're both porn stars. They've been doing porn together for years. They would do like threesomes and stuff. You can look it up on Pornhub. You can find it. Maybe, you know. And then they got married, and then his wife wanted to black guy, so they found a black guy and they released a video and she got pounded and cream pied by this black guy. She begged for the cream pie, by the way. She begged for him to release his load into her. Imagine that. Imagine seeing your wife do that. I think he filmed the video too, and it's crazy because the dude who cream pied his wife said, "I would never let my woman do that." But some people,
if you're into that,
yeah, I guess,
But me personally, no.
She's like, she hasn't been stretched in a while.
I stretched her in the second half.
I think they're all degenerates.
You want to do that?
No, they're all degenerates. They're all. It's just disgusting. You're willing to let your wife get pounded and cream pied?
You think he would?
Adin Ross is a joke as well. I'm surprised Andrew Tate even continues to talk to this dude. I think he only does it because Adin Ross has a outlet to a bunch of younger guys that can kind of like garner their attention towards Andrew Tate. So I feel like that's the only reason why he even tries to keep in contact with that dude. Otherwise, he wouldn't even bother. But I want to see what Andrew Tate has to say about Lena the plug and Adam22, this whole situation. I can already tell he's not going to be with it. I think anyone who watches him enough will probably already know that. But hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Let us know what you think down in the comments. And check out the 412 show and LBB Gaming. We'll holler at him.
I'm pretty good. Hello.
Hey, Lena.
I can see you have a black microphone.
Hi, guys.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Remind you of anything?
Yeah, I can hear you all. Hello.
Lena, Adam, we can't hear you. Lena, this is my friend, I don't know if you've heard of him before. His name is Andrew Tate.
Never heard of him. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
That's good, yeah, good.
Lena, I can see you have a black microphone in your face. It's very nice.
Does it remind you of anything?
I'm not going to sit here and
Andrew?
That's not who I am. So I'm not.
We have to be very careful with this conversation, and I'm going to explain why. Let's start by saying some ground rules, because it's very nice to meet these two people, and I've never met them in real life, and I believe in respect. That's who I am as a person. I believe in treating everybody with respect. We're going to have an interesting conversation. We're going to have disagreements in this debate, perhaps, that might evolve. I'm not going to sit here and say, so I know what you're trying to make me do, Adin. You're trying to make me say something which could be deemed offensive, and that's not what I'm going to do.
I'm not sure.
We're all individuals, and we can all make our own choices.
Me and Andrew Tate, we're victims of the same struggle. Shout out to Tupac.
And I think once you get to a certain level of fame and influence, every single man's going to be hit with this. I mean, the reason Adin hasn't been hit by it is because it's just so unbelievable. Everyone knows Adin's fucking full of shit.
I literally have, though, bro. It's like 30 times, bro. 30 times.
For hanging around with chicks? They said you like had sex with a girl or whatever? You got sexual assault?
No, nothing like that. Thank God I haven't had that.
Exactly what I mean. Yeah, because everyone knows you're not getting laid, so that's fine. But when you're actually high status male,
what the fuck? Why do you
that happens.
Whatever,
Adam was like, yeah.
Cool.
And so it can't be true.
Say again, sorry?
I know
Trans girls.
I know girls who have fucked Adin, so I don't think that's totally true.
What? How do you know this?
I know all about you,
She's
Adin.
a porn star.
Tell me all about Adin.
Bro, hey. What is this, bro?
I know like 10 trans chicks that Adin fucked.
Alright, see, now people are gonna believe that shit. It's not true. Come on, bro. You know it's not true.
Hey, yeah, sick, bro.
Andrew, I swear to
He's
God.
like, I gotta take my words.
Let me tell you all a story. When I was about 25, I was living in Thailand. And I must be the only man who lived in Thailand because I was fighting. So I lived there for 2 years. And I lived there, and I must be the only man who lived in Thailand. I've never paid for sex, never slept with a prostitute, none of the weird shit. So I'm living in Thailand, and I had this Russian girlfriend, and then she went back to Russia, and I was a bit lonely, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try and get myself a new girlfriend. And by coincidence, the same day, I met this beautiful Swedish girl, and she was backpacking. And I met her, and I went up to her and started saying hello, blah, blah, blah. We agreed to go for a drink that night. After talking to her, I was walking home, and as I was walking, this transsexual who must have been about 55, 56, had a couple teeth missing. Some man, clearly a man, I don't want to, misgender, clearly a man, but was a transsexual, was walking across the road from me. And he/she pointed at me and said, "Hey, I can tell by how you walk. You have a big dick."
What the fuck?
And I looked back at this transsexual and thought, well, I'll take the compliment. And I said, yes, that's true. Thank you very much. And I continued on my walk. That was the end of the story. Until 9 o'clock rolls around, I get on my motorcycle. I go down to this bar to meet this Swedish girl. I'm sitting there. I get drinks on the table. She turns up 20 minutes late. And I'm sitting there with the Swedish girl. And after an hour and a half of drinking and enjoying each other's company, I'd already kissed her twice. I was due to go back to her house because my house was a dump and she had more money than me. And we're going to go and stay at hers. When the transsexual walks in the bar, and in front of the entire bar, she walks in and points to me across the bar and goes, "Dick!" And the entire bar stops.
What is
and
this
looks
Big dick. She said big dick.
And the entire bar stops and looks at her, the old transsexual with missing teeth, and then looks at me. And I tried to explain for the following 10 minutes to this Swedish girl that I've never slept with this person. I don't know why she says I have a big dick, and I've never been with her, and I don't know, and I just saw her on the street. And she didn't believe me. She went toilet and never returned. That's a story from when my lonely night in Thailand. That's true, and it completely happened.
You never give a ladyboy a shot?
I've never given a ladyboy a shot, no. Am I missing out, Adam?
I haven't done it either, but I went out to like 19, 20, and the ladyboys are out there. And some of them, even back then, this was like 20 years ago, they were doing a pretty impressive ruse. Like, they looked like more of a woman than a lot of women that I know. So, shout out to them.
It's crazy how he tried to push that to him. He was like, no, I don't do that. I don't do that.
He probably did. I feel like that's cap.
He said, I don't do that. But he said, but they're getting more harder to fool. He tried to push that on Andrew Tate.
I mean, if you really think about, well, first off, the Asian ethnic type, they tend to look, the male and the female, this might sound crazy, but I mean, y'all look alike pretty much. I mean,
yeah,
it can be hard to tell sometimes. So if you start dressing up like a woman over there, it can be extremely hard to tell. And you're drunk, you're not even thinking to completely oh yeah, you're hot. I never met an Asian that looked like you. Fucking get back to the hotel and he can pull his pants down, his balls is bigger than yours, bro. Could you imagine the feeling you have? Some niggas would be like, oh, this is gonna be a night. Other niggas would be like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on out here? That's why I would never put myself in a situation like that, man. Just talking to randoms on the street, you can't tell out there, man. Plus, it's 2023 now. The technology is different. They could have access to hormones and shit.
Wait, this dude said.
Adin Ross is a joke. I know. And I mean, he look at himself back in.
I've seen a lady kick the fuck out of a dude. It was a really interesting sight. He was saying some shit to her, running his mouth, and she literally fought like a man and beat the shit out of him. And it was pretty interesting to see. Heels on and everything.
All right, can I just address the elephant in the room? Why is nobody talking? Yo, so Lena, you just finished. I heard the video's going crazy on Pornhub. You guys crashed it.
It's on my OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So, Adam, if you don't, I'm sorry, Andrew. What happened was this. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you heard Andrew. They did a video. Basically, Adam and them, they're married. They've been married for a while.
Trouble,
they have a beautiful family. Basically one day, they decided to. Basically, Adam said, "Hey, hun, you can go ahead and get a BBC by this guy." So they had a big black cock insert her puss, and
was not in the video.
What the fuck is he doing over there, bro? These niggas are fucking.
But he's probably like,
holy shit!
Thoughts, Andrew?
Holy shit!
Well, I think I mentioned this on one of my previous podcasts. I said that I wouldn't personally do that,
Bro.
but it's not my personal preference. But I want to make something clear. I'm really careful about what I say to people. I don't want to insult anybody. That's not who I am as a person. If that's their personal decision to make, then they can make their own personal decisions and do as they please. I'm not here to sit and say they shouldn't do it. All I can say is that I wouldn't personally do that. That's not something I would allow my woman to do. But perhaps I'm missing
So that's
something. Maybe you can
I've
tell
missed
me
you
why
already.
I'm wrong. I'm not sure.
Would you guys
Scratch
let your
me
wife do that?
again.
Shaq,
The
yes
thing
or
that
no?
the most
This
important
is
piece of
boring.
context that is missing is the fact that we already had been doing porn for, I mean, maybe 5-6 years, or really since the very beginning of our relationship. And, you know, she is 32. She is a mother. Realistically, she's not going to be doing this forever. But we decided that it made a lot of sense for her to, you know, seize upon the moment, the fact that she's still got her youth about her, and slurp up a black cock for the fucking paper, man.
He liked it. He liked watching the video.
Yeah, I was kind of turned on by it. I'm not gonna lie.
So my question would be, sorry, one more time. Lena, right? Correct? Lena?
Lena, yes.
Lena, do you think that you have an emotional attachment to this man now, or like you literally wouldn't care what happened to him? Let's say, heaven forbid, something, I don't know, he got locked up and went to jail or something. Like, would you care, or would you literally have zero interest in him as an individual?
Feel for him as I would feel for like almost anyone I'd ever met who went to jail, but like, no offense, Jason, I see you as like a male sex doll. Like, you were just...
No,
You're just
no
a big
emotional
black
attachment to
man.
him whatsoever?
Big black.
No, this is
You're
where I
just,
have my emotional attachment.
You're just.
Okay,
People are
well,
fucking
then,
degenerates.
if you're
If Andrew Tate won't say it,
capable
I'll
of
say
keeping
it.
that divide, then I'm not
These
here to
people
insult
are
you. And the
degenerates.
reason I don't insult
He's
people, I also want to make
He's
this very
nerfed,
clear,
Shaq.
is
He's
because
nerfed. I'm kidding.
maybe it's just the life I've lived. But I think the internet has fucked the world up. And I think one of the ways it's messed the world up is that everybody's constantly running their mouths. And the world I'm from and the life I've lived, if you insult somebody, it's you have to be prepared to defend that opinion. And I know people who've run their mouths and end up getting shot for it. And I don't like to sit around and insult people unless I have a genuine beef with them. So I'm not here to judge you or your life. I can just say that it's not something I would personally do.
But one time I was hanging out with the UFC fighter Donald Cowboy Cerrone, and he pulled up some old Andrew Tate kickboxing matches and was showing me them, and did a pretty good job of making the point of this guy can't fight, which I am not in a position to judge, but I have had that experience where a former UFC champion has basically told me about what a bitch you are, which I don't agree with. I'm a fan of the top G.
He said he wasn't
you and Donald Cerrone need to settle this in the sport circle.
Well, that's the thing about fighting, right? The thing about fighting as a sport is that everybody who watches it goes, this guy can't fight, or everyone at home who's never even fought says this guy can't fight, or the other fighters say this guy can't fight, which is why as a fighter you constantly feel like you have something to prove. Even if you win 100 fights in a row, there's always going to be someone out there who says you can't fight. I'd like to think that my record stands for itself. I've had 88 fights. I've had a bunch of fights, a 4-time world champion. I fought a bunch of rules, including MMA, and I did my very best, and I won a bunch of titles and made some money and beat a bunch of people. And of course, there's always going to be someone who watches me and says I can fight. There's a bunch of videos that say I can, and there's the odd idiot who says I can't. But I'm very happy with who I am in my career and what I've achieved, and I'm very confident in my abilities. So it is what it is. And as for Cerrone, I've heard of him. Didn't McGregor finish him pretty quick?
Wait,
I
Chad,
believe
is
so.
he a good
I'm
fighter,
not
yes or
100%
no?
sure. But either way, we need
Hey,
to settle
Chad.
that score at some point. I just want to throw that out there. But
I don't know.
I can't bring myself to say
I don't know if I
Hey,
need,
Chad.
because this is something I want to make clear as well. I don't know if I need beef with people on the internet. I see a lot of this. I see a lot of people constantly beefing each other and all these arguments, etc. I don't need any of those things. I'm fighting against the judicial system. I'm fighting against the most powerful people in the world trying to silence me. I have enough battles in my life. I don't have time to be fucking tweet beefing with some dude. If he has a problem with me, he can come to my house. He knows where I am. Everyone knows where I am. Until then, I have no problems with anybody. So as for Cerrone, if he thinks I can't fight, then if he wants to tell me to my face and kick my ass, he's welcome to try. And I strongly believe he would regret that decision. And that's as far as I need to take it.
Right. So your brother Tristan was in my DMs, like really sincerely trying to convince me that I had made a very grave error, a massive mistake as a result of having let my wife shoot with another man. Myself personally, having been, a couple weeks removed from the actual incident happening, I don't really feel like I made a mistake. It feels like some pretty regular porn
WT
shit.
in the chat, man.
I was a little bit jealous at first. It's kind of a weird feeling knowing that your woman was in the arms of another man, even if it was only for a few hours. But it's interesting. You don't seem like you have as much of a real moral issue with the act itself.
Well, I can give you my opinion on why I wouldn't ever do it. And I think the reason I wouldn't ever do it is because I believe that a man and a woman have a connection between them, and I think that connection is solidified by sexual exclusivity from the female's part, and I believe there's an energy cord between. And I think that once that's broken with another man, I do believe there's a degree of the connection which is damaged. And I think that when the relationship is good, perhaps you will not feel it, but when the relationship is bad, or when arguments start to happen, or you start to get on each other's nerves, you might notice a slight difference in behavior, because I do also think that once the seal has been broken, I'll give you an example. The 4-minute mile was impossible to achieve, they believed, until one man ran the 4-minute mile, and then a bunch of people ran the 4-minute mile. So once the seal's been broken, for example, let's say your wife's sleeping with another man, the idea of sleeping with another man is not as intimidating as it once was. And perhaps the idea of sitting through an argument or sitting through a rough patch in a relationship and continuing to try to work it out, as opposed to just jumping on a new man, it might be less appealing than it once was previously. So I believe, personally, if my woman had already slept with another man, she's more likely to just give up on the relationship and sleep with another man again in a rough patch. That's my personal view.
Facts, chat. No.
Say again?
Why would I mean, I've never cheated on you, like, even in the lowest terms of cheating, like responding to a DM from somebody or anything. Like, I've never done any of that. Everything in our relationship has been out in the open. You know, like all my messages with the person that I worked with, I was like, hey, just so you know, like, these are the messages. And like, Adam has fucked about 200 women in front of me, and he cheated on me. So like, what? You know,
Adam, that's terrible.
We all got our issues. Hey, let me just tell you, about a half hour ago, I was laying on the floor in the adjacent office with a large...
What are you talking about?
On my face. She does this thing called Brazilian face sitting.
He almost died.
It's going to appear on onlyplugtalk.com, which is our weekly podcast where we interview and then fuck a different girl every single week. And this girl was really me to breathe. And when I would grab her ass and try to move her ass off of my face,
what the fuck is that?
My hands and hold.
I don't give a fuck if Andrew Tate says he won't talk to shit. I won't talk about these motherfuckers all day. These are degenerates. These are people that, if you pay for OnlyFans, nigga, you're not a man. You're smaller than a rat. You're smaller than a fucking flea, nigga. If you pay for OnlyFans, and Pornhub there's millions of videos on Pornhub you can watch for free. You can pay $5 to watch a bitch, what, pose in a bikini? She posts on TikTok and Instagram? And then these two people talk about, I over 200 women.
He said, I said, we said a podcast with them.
Did come afterwards. What the? Holy Jesus. If this isn't proof enough that our society is going down a rabbit hole that we are going to escape, nigga, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
I never heard of like that before.
200 bitches and you still cheat, nigga? Where does it end?
How do you do that? How do you cheat? You just fuck 200 bitches in front of me,
bro.
At that point, it's just like what?
And you have kids? I feel bad. You better send that nigga to private school or something. Can you imagine what they're going to say about? Isn't this your mother getting pounded by this big black hulking man? Look at your mom. Look, it's your mom getting pounded. Look.
Imagine your son sees him just saying what he just said.
I'm so happy my mom was born tonight. I can't even imagine what you children are going to go through whose moms have OnlyFans and they're promoting it on Twitter and shit. Like, I'm the hottest 18-year-old ever seen. OnlyFans in the link.
Posting their cash up.
I can't imagine what these kids are going to go through mentally when they're at school and they're like, hey, isn't this your mom? I just subscribed to her OnlyFans.
Oh my goodness.
Bro, what can you even say? You can't say none of that.
What? Bro, I've never heard anything like that, bro.
Yeah,
ever. Ever, bro.
I'm sorry. I respect your decision to do whatever you want, but I'm sorry, but we keep allowing things like this to perpetuate in our society and just want to completely
just be demonic.
It's just going to rot, and it's just rotten to the core, man. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't fuck with like that, man. There's no
reason to podcast with somebody and to fuck them afterwards.
Where's the decency? Where's the morality? Where's the self-respect?
It's like he doesn't care at all.
He doesn't
give about nothing. About nothing. I'm like, and then he thinks it's funny, bro.
Adin Ross is a joke,
it's funny.
Hey, chat, what? WTF, chat? Holy!
like, this
Let us know if you want to see more of this stuff in the comments, man. We're gonna, depending on how this video does, you might react to the rest of this. We not even have to. I don't think anyone want to listen to the rest of this garbage. I don't think I want to. I think I'd rather swallow a cyanide pill and watch Cat in the Hat and just die in peace.
Watch Cat in the Hat.
Just die in peace, man. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Road to 10K. We're gonna see you next time. Peace.
Peace.